Okay, yeah. So I was talking about the last thing I spoke about before the class. The last thing what we're talking about is the dictionary. Okay, so the dictionary is a key. Right? So you just have to, if you know the key, you can get the value. So dictionaries are important ways of getting information about something. Okay, it's a type of array, yes, but with dictionaries, okay, they provide a very good. So, for example, okay, I can come and see that um, here we can have a name, where you can have a height, you can have color, you can have like I can basically describe a person within a dictionary. Okay. So my point with dictionaries is that it's simple. It comes in key and value pairs. Okay. So you can run certain um you can have a dictionary of anything you want, as long as so that you can have a dictionary of anything you want, but the the rule is that it must be key and value. Okay, key and value. Okay, so and you can edit it. Yeah, you can edit it however you like. Um, you can you can merge it. You can only see the values. So if I came here and I was like, that's keys, right? It will just tell me the keys in the so here the key comes before the value. If I said it should display the keys, it should display the values. Right? We'll just go ahead and do that. So the keys and the values. Uh, no, it must not. Not exactly. Okay, so not everything must be a string. Okay, you can have. So let's just check something out. One, right? So let's make this. Um, let's make this 5.75. It must not everything must be a string. Okay, so let's run this. So here with my keys, I have one, and here I have my values. I have this. It makes no difference, right? So from here, I can set a particular if I want the index one, that's it starts with index zero, so blue. Now can check. Okay, for this one, when it comes to calling it, okay, um, it doesn't particularly take the index, it takes the key you want. Okay, so there's one more thing I want to show, which is that items. Let's display the items and see. So the items will give you the key and the value. So with the first entry, the key is one, and then the value is blue. The height is that's right. The key is height, and the value is three. The key is color. The value is 5.56. Naturally, won't be like that. But with this one, you do not directly check the index. Okay, what you do is you call the key and it will give you the value, or you call the value to give you the key. Something of the sort. Okay, so you can't particularly just go and it will give it to you. Okay, so with that, okay, we are done for the meantime on these kind of data structures. Okay, the in the form of arrays, the list, the set, the tuple, and the dictionary. Okay. Uh, so what we'll do next is so please you can do some further research on it. As I was saying, with programming, once you've understood the concept, okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. But once you've understood the concept, it's just a matter of trying out stuff, okay? So you understand the concept, you try out your own code, you see how other people did it, okay? And then you take your notes and then you just keep practicing. Um, or loops, also loops. I don't know if I should teach them on Saturday instead with the. Well, I'll upload it this evening, before the morning. I'll upload all the classes. I'll upload it to YouTube and then send the link into the group. Okay. Um, loops. Okay. Loops are okay. So in Python, there are two types of loops. There are the for loop. Okay, and then we have the while loop. Okay, so I'll just basically introduce loops. So what loops allow you to do, okay, is that they allow you to have iteration or iteration. So you want a certain action to occur a number of times. Um, so let's start with the for loop. Okay, so what you want usually with the for loop is that, okay, let me just check something. So basically the simplest kind of for loop you have, okay, so usually for an element, let's call it X, okay, in range, let's say 10. I'll explain this in a minute, okay? 10, I just want to say something. Print, hello. Sorry, print hello times, right, X, variable X. So when I run this, I want to just show you something. Because it's telling me that the loop is not defined. Okay. Sorry, yeah, I should have commented this out. Yeah. I'm coming. Let me just space here. Yeah. So I had it print to me hello 10 times, right? So in the first case, it will take, so what we are doing here, okay, and this is the tricky aspect of it. Oh, it's okay. So we want to iterate through something a certain number, a specified number of times. Okay, so we want to go through, or we want to move through the, how do you call it, the loop a specified number of times. So here, I thought this thing would be helpful. That's why I did like that. Okay, so for x is equal to 1. Okay, so it's basically going to set x, this x we have here, right, to 1. Then it's coming to run what is inside. When it's done, it will set x to 2. Then it will run what is within it to set x to 3, up until it sets x to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it starts from 1. Okay, so if you want, if you want 10, you have to set the range to 11. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The last entry. Okay. So basically, what we are doing when it comes to the for loop specifically, okay, I'll go over this one Saturday. So anybody has any questions, then we look at it. Basically, what the for loop does, okay, is that we are iterating through it a number of times. Okay, so this X shows what step in the iteration we are, right? And this range value tells us what we are iterating to. So you can start from, you can have it like this. We are iterating from 12 to 100. No, let's iterate from 3 to 100. If we want this, okay, there's a lot. I just want to see the first. So we started from 3 and then we finished on, please, this won't do, it will end on 99. It doesn't do the last case. So if you wanted to handle the last case, you have to add 1. Okay. So what happens is that you have, usually this X is I, usually you see it in a lot of programs that it's I instead of X. So what happens is that this I is a variable that keeps changing. Okay. So it changes based on the range. So it's I plus 1. Usually that's the function. Okay, that's the variable I plus 1. So when your I is 0, 1, when your I, so it depends on what you have set as your range. So basically this I value takes the range. Okay, so it takes each element or each member of the range from 3 to 99. Okay, that's how it's like. It doesn't really fall on the last one. It just falls on the element or the number before it. So 3 to 99. What next? Yeah. So we'll try something with the for loop right now. Okay, so or the while loop. Okay, the while loop is much more interesting. So with the while loop, so basically with the for loop, the syntax is quite simple. You have for, right? Then you have your variable, right? And then you have your in, then you have your range of values. You have your range of values. Okay, so yeah. And then you have your action. So this action will be run for each of each of the variables. So yeah. So let me see. An example would be I just want something simple to run with the for loop. Um, Basically any program that counts from 1 to 10. Okay. So it's points high. Sorry. Around this, it's gonna count from sorry 3 to 99 because that's what the range I've set. So I will take the value 3 and to display. I will take the value 4 then to display. I'll take the value 5 to display. I'll take the value 6 to display up until 99. Okay. So I'll get you guys some like reading materials to read. Uh-huh. Because some of these things they are a bit way in a sense. But second, please, if you have a question, you can ask. The second type of loop, okay, is the while loop. So you have while, and then you have kind of like a true condition, right? So as long as the condition that you've set hasn't is not false, it will keep running the action. Okay. So an example is that, and this is what I mean when I say a counter. Okay. So I've been talking about a counter for a while. So let's set the counter to zero. Okay. My condition is that as long as this counter value is not, as long as this counter value is less than 1,000, take this counter value or take this counter value and add one to it, and then print the counter. And so run. So I forgot to turn off the other. So we started from one. Originally our counter was zero, right? I can put this on top of it, but anyway, our counter was zero, right? So when the while loop started, the while loop will check. Okay, our condition is as long as this value is less than 1,000. Okay, add one and then print it. So to check, this is zero. Then it added one. Is this less than 1,000? Yes, our condition is true. So we added one to it and then displayed it. So zero plus one, one. So right now the value of, so we are still within the loop. So as long as we are within the loop, the value of the counter has now changed from zero to one. So it's one. Then to check, is one less than 1,000? Yes. Then to do it, it's two less than. So when it reaches this case, 1,000, is 1,000 less than 1,000? No. Then immediately the script or the loop ends. Okay. So while loops, while the condition is true, the loop will run. Okay, whatever action it will run many times as long as your loop is true or your condition is true. So you have to be very, very careful of while loops because when you make a mistake in your while loop in your program, okay, it will just keep running until until the condition is false. So you have to keep a close eye on that one. And we'll continue on Saturday when it comes to the loops. Okay, so but before that, I would like to write. I told you about the Fibonacci. Okay, so basically the Fibonacci is a. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, the Fibonacci is a kind of, I don't want to call it a set, but a kind of mathematical set, okay, that takes the first two numbers and displays that to give you your next number. Okay, so I'll call this my first number. Let me set my first number to zero. Okay, and then my second number to one. Okay. So what I want to do is that while, and I'll set my counter, the number of times I want, or the number of entries I want the Fibonacci to have, or the number of times I want the loop to run. So my counter is sorry, 1,000. Okay. So I can start and say that while my counter here. So I set my counter to zero. Right, so while my counter is less than 1,000, I want you to run this condition for me. I want you to take the first number, to take the next number. I want you to take the next number and make it the sum, make it the sum of the first number and the sum is a function, it's a function. It takes into parameters, okay? Or you can as many parameters as you want. It's just add them. I can write first number plus second number, but I'm feeling a bit, yeah, like, So it's going to take the first number plus the second number, right? And it's going to set it to the next number, right? So now my next number is the sum of the two, right? So then what I'm going to happen is that, okay, um, 1 second, have 0 and 1. Can I want 1 plus 0 should give me 1, right? So here is 1, okay, and then mhm, the other next number, okay, this for the second next number. Okay, so have my so my next number or my previous number. So that's a better name for it. Previous. Now, what should the previous number be? Well, previous number should be mm-hmm. We'll come in there. We have the okay, let me just work out the algorithm again. So I want something to store the first number, to store our current number, and to find our next number. Okay, so what's our previous number? So okay, so let me change this. Let me change this. So you have your current number, three variables. You have your current number, you have your previous number, then you have your next number. Okay. So right now, our current number, okay, is going to be equal to our um our current number is going to be equal to hmm, hmm, I'm coming in. I haven't done this thing in a while, so okay, so our current number is all intents and purposes. We are standing at 1. Okay, so we want, okay, so now I think it's coming up. So we want a sum of our first number and our second number. Okay, so to give us our current number, right? Now, in this case, what is our previous number? Okay, sometimes these things are somewhere. So what is our current number? 1, right? want to be like this. What's our previous number? Um, our previous number would be the sum of our current number plus sorry, the sum of our current number and hey, why is this thing doing wrong? 1 second then. I'm not meeting this thing now. It's a bit some way. Uh, basically, this is what we are trying to do. Mm. So we are using the while loop. I think that is clear. Um, so hmm, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Let me put everything my thoughts together. Okay, so we have our first number and our second number. Okay, we want to add our first number and our second number to get something. Okay, so we want to add our first number and our second number to get our current number. Okay, so I think I can start with my variable current number. So our current number is the sum of our first number and our second number, right? Now we have our current number. We want our next number. Okay, so we will say that our previous number, so yeah, so we want our current number to be the sum of the two, right? And then what we want next, right, is to basically sometimes we want to update our values. Right? So what we want, right, is for our current number to become equal to, this is the confusion that I was having, like getting a bit confused. We want our first number to become our current number. Okay? And then we want we want our our second number to become, yeah. So so we want our second number to become yeah, we want this to become our second number. Okay, so okay, I think this makes more sense. So yeah, what we are basically doing, then let's add one to our counter. Okay, so basically what we want to happen, okay, is that we want our first number and our second number, we've stated them 0 and 1. Okay. So what we want to happen is that we want our current number, the number we are on, right, to be the sum of the first number and the second number. Okay. Now we want our first number to become our second number. Or sorry, we want our second number to become our first number. Sorry about that. It's assignments not equal to. So we want the value at 1 to become our first number, or we want the value at our second number to become our first number. Once that happens, our first number has changed from 0 to 1. Then we want our second number to become our current number. So basically, let me run this and let's take a look. What's this is saying now? There's an error in line 8. They want me to do this in the old-fashioned way. So, wait, no problem. So I'm not printing anything. Um, so I want to print at the top here. Um, I want to print my first number. And that should be okay. But now, it's that indentation error. On indent, there's not much. These things here. Indentation error really. Let me just put these two in a bracket. These errors sometimes they are very annoying. Um, First number plus second number. Sorry, the issue is coming from the print here. It's not properly indented, so it's affecting. Yeah, okay, I think it's properly indented now. Okay, so this is the first, I think, 1,000 entries of the Fibonacci. Okay, so it's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and it goes on. So let me just explain it. We have our first number and our second number, okay, 0 and 1, respectively. We have set our counter to 0, right? And our counter, so when we set our counter to 0, so we are saying that then we come to our while loop. Okay, so we are saying that once our counter is below 1,000, run this for us. Okay, so we want to display the first number. So we've printed it 0 here, right? 0. Now the next thing is that we want to take our current number, or we've defined a variable called current number, okay? And we said that this current number, right, should be a sum of my first two variables. So now I have my current number, okay? Now, I want my first number now to become, oh sorry, my second number to now become my first number, and I want my second number to become my current number, okay? So I basically want to change the values, update it as we move along. So I want 0 to become 1 while I'm at 1. So I want 1 to become 2 while I'm at 2 so that I can add 1. You see, when I add the first number, the six. So right now, my first number is 1, my second number is 1. So I want to be able to add 1 and 1 and get 2 so that my 2 becomes my next number. I don't know if you are getting it, but you can look up the Fibonacci. Basically, what we want to do is add the first two numbers and then use it to get the next number, and add the next two numbers, then get the next number. So I'll explain it a lot more on Saturday. Okay. So please, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, then look at it. So it's basically a long string of numbers. Humans don't really memorize above like 89 or yeah. Yeah, it really, really grows. Just numbers. No question. So yeah, we'll go over this because of the number of people not the pool of people not present. So we'll go over this on Saturday. I'll upload the class before morning. Yeah. So have a good evening, right? And just try and read around loops and then the arrays, what we've done so far. Okay. So yeah, good night. I'll be ending the call. Okay. See you a bit. the concept were a bit some way, but um, you, once because we've done the while loops or we've done the loops, we'll be able to build more interesting stuff on Saturday. Okay, so Saturday, I'll push for us to be doing it earlier around 6 in the evening, so we'll have more time. Okay, so good night. Um, yeah, good night. I think you have your hand raised. You can go ahead. Or do you have a question? Okay, you said no question, so yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be uploaded before Saturday because I want to upload them around midnight this evening. So before Saturday. So if there's no other questions, I guess good night. It is meet on Saturday.